The live television show kicked off with a burst of energy as the camera panned across the buzzing studio. The audience, a mix of eager fans and curious onlookers, sat on the edge of their seats. The host, known for his challenging interviews, stood center stage with a confident smile. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announced, "please welcome our special guest tonight, NFL superstar Aaron Rodgers." The applause was thunderous as Aaron Rodgers walked onto the stage, waving to the crowd. He took his seat across from the host, maintaining his trademark calm and collected demeanor. The host wasted no time, diving straight into the first question. "Aaron," he began, his voice laced with a hint of challenge. "Recently, there's been quite a bit of controversy surrounding your comments about the team's performance. Some say you threw your teammates under the bus. How do you respond to that?" The audience held their breath, sensing the tension in the air. Aaron took a deep breath, his eyes locking onto the host's. "Well," he started, his voice steady and confident, "it is never easy to hear criticism, especially when it involves your teammates. But I believe in honesty and transparency. My intention was never to blame anyone, but to highlight areas where we can improve as a team." His response was met with murmurs of approval from the audience, but the host was not done. Yet. "But do you not think such comments could demoralize your team?" The host pressed, his eyes gleaming with anticipation. Aaron's expression remained composed. "I understand that it can be difficult, but I also believe that constructive feedback is essential for growth. My teammates know that I respect and value each one of them. We are all working towards the same goal, and sometimes tough conversations are necessary to get there." The host, slightly taken aback by Aaron's smooth response, decided to dig deeper. "Aaron, let us talk about your leadership style. Some critics say it is too harsh and demanding. What do you have to say about that?" Aaron leaned forward, his gaze unwavering. "Leadership is about setting high standards and holding yourself and others accountable. It is about pushing your team to be the best they can be. Yes, I have high expectations, but I also lead by example. I give my all on and off the field, and I expect the same from my teammates." The audience, now fully engaged, nodded in agreement, appreciating Aaron's candidness. The host, sensing the tide turning in Aaron's favor, decided to switch gears. "All right, Aaron, let us move on to a lighter topic. Tell us about the community work you have been involved in recently." A smile spread across Aaron's face, his eyes lighting up with genuine passion. "Giving back to the community has always been important to me. Recently, I have been working with various youth programs to provide opportunities for kids to pursue their dreams. Seeing the impact we can have on their lives is incredibly rewarding." The applause for Aaron Rodgers' community work had barely died down when the host leaned in, his expression shifting to something more serious. "Aaron," he began, his tone calculated, "you mentioned how important it is to stay connected with the community. But what about your personal failures? Have you ever faced a moment where you felt truly defeated?" A hush fell over the room as the audience waited for Aaron's response. He took a deep breath, his eyes momentarily glancing downward as he gathered his thoughts. The room seemed to hold its breath with him. "I have faced many challenges, like anyone else," Aaron began, his voice steady but tinged with emotion. "One of the toughest moments in my career was when I suffered a major injury. There was a time when I doubted if I could ever come back and play at the same level." The audience was silent, hanging on his every word. Aaron continued, "It was a dark period for me. I felt a sense of failure and frustration, but it was also a time of reflection and growth. I realized that my worth was not just tied to my performance on the field. He paused, his gaze sweeping across the room, connecting with individuals in the audience. I learned to appreciate the small victories and to lean on the support of my loved ones. My family, friends, and teammates were my rock during that time. Their belief in me helped me to stay resilient and to keep pushing forward. The emotion in Aaron's voice was palpable, and the audience could feel the depth of his experience. The host, sensing an opportunity to dig deeper, asked, "How did you overcome that sense of defeat? What kept you going?" Aaron's eyes brightened with determination. It was the realization that setbacks are a part of life. They do not define us, but rather shape us into who we are meant to be. I focused on what I could control: my effort, my attitude, and my rehabilitation. I set small goals for myself and celebrated each milestone along the way. He added, "But more importantly, I learned the power of kindness and compassion. The support I received from others inspired me to pay it forward. I wanted to be a source of strength for those facing their own battles." The audience erupted in applause, moved by Aaron's heartfelt admission and his message of resilience and kindness. The host, momentarily taken aback, nodded in appreciation. "Thank you for sharing that, Aaron. It is clear that your journey has been an inspiration to many." Aaron smiled, his eyes reflecting gratitude. "I believe that we all have the power to make a positive impact, no matter our circumstances. It is about lifting each other up and finding strength in our shared humanity." As the applause settled, the host leaned forward, determined to delve deeper. "Aaron," he said, his voice softening slightly, "you've spoken about your resilience and the support you've received, but let's talk about your relationships. How do your family and friends influence your journey?" Aaron's eyes softened, a genuine smile spreading across his face. "My family and friends are my foundation," he began. "They keep me grounded and remind me of what's truly important. My parents, in particular, have always been my biggest supporters. Their belief in me, even during the toughest times, has been unwavering." He continued, "I remember a time when I was at my lowest, struggling with self-doubt after an injury. My mother sat me down and said, 'Aaron, no matter what happens, we love you for who you are, not for what you do on the field.' Those words were a turning point for me. They reminded me that my worth isn't defined by my achievements, but by the love and support of those around me." The audience was silent, captivated by Aaron's heartfelt story. The host, sensing the depth of the moment, asked, "How do you repay that support?" Aaron's smile broadened. "By being there for them in the same way they've been there for me. It's about showing up, being present, and expressing gratitude. I make it a point to spend quality time with my family and friends, to celebrate their victories and support them through their challenges." He added, "And it's not just about my immediate circle. I try to extend that sense of support and kindness to everyone I interact with, whether it's a teammate, a fan, or a stranger. I believe in treating others with respect and compassion. We're all in this together, and a little kindness can go a long way." The host, recognizing the emotional depth of Aaron's response, took a moment before asking the next question. "Aaron, you have spoken about the support of your loved ones and the importance of kindness, but how do you handle the pressure and expectations that come with being in the public eye?" Aaron leaned back slightly, contemplating his answer. "It is a lot to handle at times," he admitted. "The pressure can be overwhelming, and there are moments when it feels like the weight of the world is on my shoulders. But I have learned to stay focused on what truly matters. I remind myself of my purpose and why I started this journey in the first place." He continued, "I also practice mindfulness and meditation. It helps me stay grounded and present, even in the midst of chaos. And I always make time for self-care, whether it is spending time with loved ones, engaging in hobbies, or simply taking a break to recharge. Aaron's words and about handling pressure and self-care had left a mark on the audience. The host, sensing the sincerity in the room, asked a final probing question. Aaron, with all the highs and lows you've experienced, what keeps you inspired and driven to continue? Aaron leaned in, his eyes reflecting a deep sense of purpose. Inspiration comes from many sources, he began. For me, it's the stories of perseverance and resilience I hear from fans and everyday people. When someone tells me that my journey has inspired them to overcome their own challenges, it reignites my passion. He paused, his voice growing more impassioned. I also draw inspiration from my teammates who work just as hard and share the same goals. Their dedication and camaraderie push me to give my best every day. And of course, my family is my greatest source of strength. Their unwavering support and love remind me of why I started this journey. The audience could feel the authenticity in Aaron's words, and a collective sense of admiration filled the room. The host nodded, visibly moved. It's clear that your journey has been shaped by the people around you, he said. But what about the future? What are your hopes and aspirations moving forward? Aaron's expression softened, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. My hope is to continue growing, both as a player and as a person. I want to keep pushing my limits and finding new ways to contribute, whether on the field or in the community. I believe that as long as we stay true to our values and keep striving for excellence, the possibilities are endless. The applause and standing ovation had barely settled when the host, visibly moved by Aaron Rodgers' words, decided to ask a final poignant question. Aaron, he began, his voice filled with genuine curiosity, if there is one final message you would like to leave with our audience today, what would it be? Aaron, maintaining his calm and composed demeanor, took a moment to reflect. The room was silent, all eyes on him, waiting for his response. I think the most important message I can share is to always lead with kindness and compassion, he said, his voice steady and sincere. In our daily lives, we often face challenges and pressures that can make it easy to forget the power of simple acts of kindness. But it is those small, meaningful gestures that can make a huge difference. The audience listened intently, captivated by Aaron's heartfelt words. Whether it is offering a helping hand, listening to someone who needs to be heard, or simply showing empathy and understanding, these actions can have a profound impact on those around us. Aaron continued, we all have the ability to create positive change in our communities, and it starts with how we treat one another. He added, in my own journey, I have learned that success is not just about personal achievements, but about how we uplift and support each other. The relationships we build and the kindness we extend are what truly define our legacy. The room erupted in applause, a final standing ovation that echoed the profound impact of Aaron's message. The audience, deeply moved by his authenticity and wisdom, left with a renewed sense of purpose and a commitment to embracing kindness and humanity in their own lives. Now, let us all take Aaron Rodgers' message to heart. Lead with kindness and compassion in everything you do. Embrace the power of simple acts of kindness and make a positive impact on those around you. Let your actions define your legacy and inspire others to do the same. Together, we can create a world filled with empathy, understanding, and humanity